Welcome back, and you're watching IBM Presents the Leaders Code in association with Money Control and CNBC-TV18. Let's head back to the discussion.
Mr. Mishra, we've spoken a lot about technology, but it does come with its fair share of challenges. Cybersecurity is one such huge risk, and you're only as strong as the weakest link in the chain, which is your customer. What are the, what according to you are some of the biggest challenges, and how are you at Union Bank of India looking at them?
Now, there are two steps to that. One, the bank side and the customer side. At a bank side, yes, we can build best of the systems, best of the processes, best of the securities measures we put up. But then what at the customer end? You said the security is as strong as the weakest link. Now, where do you have the weakest link? Whether it's the customer or the bank side. Now, bank side, along with our partners, technology partners like even IBM and all these people, we put on best of the machines and best of the securities there, features there. In fact, I'll just like to put on record that Union Bank is setting up a center of excellence for cybersecurity. So we are one of the first banks to set up that center of excellence of cybersecurity. So we are doing that. But then what is customer? OTP shared, a password given. All these are the risk factors which are there. The only thing which can be done is a lot of customer awareness programs. So while we are embarking on a high-speed journey of hyper-personalization and all that, we are also trying to build in that the customer awareness is created. And my branches which are there in a physical mode today, they are helping me in the hand and trying to educate the customer, because still whatever we say, the Gen Z population is one problem, but we have to address to the entire rural mass, which is the bank like us of our size is handling. So that is where we have to live. That is one bigger challenge. Second challenge is daily upgradation, new technology coming into on a day-to-day basis. So while we are still encountering what this new technology is, and with Sandeep ji and his team, we learn to know that what this technology is going to give up. We have that metaverse of things are going to come up, IoT things, so we are bound down with those things, how to cater to it. So these technologies are coming, we have to keep on upgrading ourselves, keep on not upgrading both human capital as well as the systems. Human capital is where a lot of investment as a bank we do it. I can say that Union Bank is proud to have one of the best IT teams which are there available with us. And we continue to skill them, reskill them there. So in-house team along with the partners are able to take care of any eventualities as far as the securities aspect and running the systems are concerned.
Mr. Patel, again coming back to you, the industry is evolving with technology and the customers are changing a lot too. In fact, I read somewhere that 80 million people made their first ever digital payment only during the pandemic. So, a lot has rapidly changed. In this environment, what are the initiatives and investments that IBM is making that are impacting and shaping the banking and BFSI industry today?
What we have stated as our strategy and our focus, which is in the domain of hybrid cloud, AI, and enterprise-grade security. So this is the focus that IBM has today. I think in any bank or any organization for that matter, you will always have a combination of some kind of cloud properties, public cloud, some private cloud as was discussed, and there will be on-prem hardware and data which will have to be maintained. Now the orchestration across that, it becomes very important. This is where hybrid cloud and the investments that we've made with Red Hat, for example, as a mechanism to drive this orchestration across different infrastructures, that becomes very critical. And the reason why that's important in the digitized world is it brings with it a level of operational agility and the ability to sort of shift business models as things evolve around the market. Artificial intelligence is sort of where I think we haven't even touched or scratched the surface around what we can do with data and analytics. But the kind of data that's now becoming available is unstructured data. It's weather data, it's sensor data. And some of this data tends to lose relevance within a few nanoseconds after it's created. The ability to bring this structured and unstructured data together and drive artificial intelligence solutions real time, that becomes the next frontier. And those are the places where we are continuing to make investments. And then the last place is, what is probably going to be one of the most important things, which is cybersecurity. Building a security portfolio, a security software portfolio that actually secures these mission critical systems and applications, and then the ability to sort of run those operations where you have ongoing vigilance and monitoring so that you are keeping your customers' data and the financial data secure, that is going to become critical. So, I mean, those are the domains where we are making our investments.
ESG, that is the buzzword and has been for a while, environment, social governance. Where does Union Bank of India stand on those fronts, and how are you responding to these requirements where, you can't be a listed player, you can't be a leader in the market without adhering to ESG?
I feel that ESG has three components. One is the awareness. I think currently most of the lending institutions are going through that awareness phase, which will lead to the more and more adoption of the ESG practices, and finally the fulfillment of goals. Today at Union Bank of India, we are looking at ESG as a banking practice. So to start with, for the governance level itself, on the board level, we have a stakeholder relationship committee. So while discussing that, where this ESG should fit in, whether we should have a separate committee for ESG, the discussion was that actually ESG is not a separate committee, but it is a stakeholder, society as a stakeholder. So we put ESG agenda as a part of the stakeholder relationship committee, and we discuss that quite frequently. Right now, our risk team is engaged into drafting a climate risk policy, and overall the
RBI has also come out with a paper.
And overall the ESG framework for the bank. But a lot many things we have started doing on the environmental part also. As I said, traditionally, like we had green data center. I don't know for how many years, at least for 5-6 years, we already have green data center. We have rooftop solar ATMs and branches at many places. But anyway, now it is getting more institutionalized. So today we have the loan facility for financing purchase of 2- and 4-wheeler electric vehicles. And then similarly, we have other products also. We are focusing on more and more lending to renewable energy, whether it is hydro, wind power, and the solar powers. And also we are investing into projects where ethanol-led project, which will essentially reduce the carbon footprint.
All of these initiatives you mentioned are being driven by the government as well on a large scale.
And we are a very large participant in that government initiative. So I'm sure that with these initiatives, we'll take more and more steps forward towards the sustainability from the Union Bank of India side.
All right, Mr. Saxena, but what's next after all of this for Union Bank of India? Where do you go in the next 3 to 5 years in terms of your retail segment growth, your corporate segment growth, while keeping in mind the needs of changing with technology, being ESG conscious, all of that put together?
The business environment for the banks in terms of credit growth, deposit growth, it really looks quite good. I think with the COVID crisis at the back, now there is a lot of latent demand in the personal segment loans also, which is seen in the industry. Also, the corporates are looking up, the MSMEs are looking up for more and more credit. Government is actually spearheading with a lot of initiatives in the area of the NMPs and the infrastructure upgradation that will happen in the country. So all these would require a lot of credit funding from the commercial banks. So if I have to talk specifically for Union Bank, we are also trying to see a growth of 12 to 14% YOY in terms of all the critical personal loan segments, and likewise in the corporate segment too.
Okay, so Mr. Patel, as they talk about growth, 12-14% credit growth, growing MSME, growing retail, growing corporate, how do you at IBM ensure that they're growing sustainably while also remaining profitable? What are some of the steps and strategies, or could you tell us about IBM Sustainability Initiative and what role that is playing in it?
We have actually publicly announced that we will get to a net zero footprint by 2030. Now, against that, we are continuing to invest in multiple projects around our own operations. So 2021, I think we undertook about 1,000 projects over 19 locations to get them more environmentally sustainable and so on. And so that work continues, and our march towards getting to the net zero footprint, that is going to happen. So that's sort of doing it to ourselves and making sure that we as an organization are a sustainable organization, environmentally sustainable organization. The second piece is we are seeing a huge demand in the market for our clients who are trying to go down that same path. And this is where we believe that technology can play a significant role in doing that. So building on technologies and solutions that enable our clients to traverse this path to become environmentally sustainable that is a huge focus for us, and we have a whole sustainability practice around it. As a matter of fact, earlier this year, we acquired a company called Envisi, which is a leader in helping with environmental sustainability solutions. And this is something which is now a part of our portfolio that is helping to build solutions that are helping our clients become more environmentally sustainable.
All right, Mr. Ranjan, since we began with you, I'll ask you for the closing comments. And, while it's wonderful hearing about technology and sustainability, you're in the business of banking. You give loans, you want them back. So I also wanted to get your thoughts on the asset quality front. Now that the economy is opened up, the pandemic is hopefully behind. Are things looking better on that front? And your thoughts?
Things are definitely looking much better. In fact, I would have expected a question on growth rather than on the asset quality. But nonetheless, we are very strong on the balance sheet today. So our net NPA ratio is in low single digit. We have more than 85% of provision coverage ratio. Our net NPA to net worth ratio is very strong. We have 250 basis point capital, common equity capital over the regulatory minimum. So balance sheet is very strong. That's why I said that we are full set for a high level of growth in the coming years.
All right, Mr. Ranjan, on that positive note, let me wrap this up. I hope our audience and our viewers had good takeaways to take from how Union Bank of India is one of the leader in the industry, is implementing technology to better business, to better profitability, to better customer experience. On that note, all of you gentlemen, Mr. Ranjan, Mr. Kuril, Mr. Patel, as well as Mr. Saxena and Mr. Rajiv Mishra, all of you, thank you very much for your time, and thank you. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Joining us now to share her takeaways from the conversation and views on adapting to the digital age and the future of the banking industry is A. Mani Mekhalai, MD and CEO, Union Bank of India.
These are indeed challenging times. There are geopolitical risks, inflationary pressures, food security issues, and the ongoing pandemic. Banking, being an integral part of socio-economic framework, will definitely undergo a sea change this decade, be the products, services, systems, or clientele. I feel the immediate key drivers for banking industry will be: 1. Banks have to adopt to the digital age. Going forward, IT infrastructure is to be strengthened as best in class for seamless service. Banks have to maximize STP journeys for assets and liability products. For example, we are looking forward for 50% digital onboarding in the next 3 years through STP. In this direction, we have already established FinTech Innovation Center in Hyderabad. We have also taken initiatives like Metaverse for upgrading the service experience. Likewise, Next-Gen Call Center will also be launched shortly. Secondly, millennials will be deciding the banking of future. They demand comprehensive bouquet of products with minimum submission of documents, have expectation of fast turnaround in delivery of services. Lastly, bottom of the pyramid customers will be an important source of growth for banks. Small ticket, big volume, that we may call sachet banking for digital India, is the future. Further, focused attention on government schemes is required to make this a profit center. Our vision is to be among top 3 public sector banks through: 1. Customer centricity. We have been taking many initiatives like connect programs with the millennials, hospitality training to frontline staff, verticalization of credit and deposits. We are also planning to open a startup focused branch in Bangalore shortly. We aim to be best in technology to cater to next generation. Bank is already empaneled 24 fintechs and more are in process. To conclude, technology will be a great equalizer. Connecting the dots seamlessly with various technology is the way forward. One must constantly innovate and upgrade in the fast changing times. We are overcoming our challenges and sense good opportunity for business ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Mani Mekhalai, for sharing such pertinent views on the future of the banking industry. Well, that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you for watching and take care.